Well, hello, my fellas peeps, and happy days. This is Teacher Melanie, your financial life coach, coming in to just share a word of encouragement as it relates to learning how to prosper during hard times. So I cannot believe that 2024 is about to end, which is crazy because you all know that 2024 for my family and I has been a year for the books. Definitely a year that I would like to forget. I know I won't, right? As you all know, if you don't know and you're new here, I just want to share a little bit with you that this year, July 1st, not July 1st, get yourself together, Melanie. June 1st, I lost my only sibling, my only brother, to medical neglect. Okay, my brother went in he was having some pain in his upper GI. He went to the emergency. The pain was excruciating. We went to see him, the whole 9 yards. When we see him, he's telling everybody what his pain is. They said they're going to do some more tests, whatever the case may be. I'm giving you a really very short version. Then on top of that, they said the next day they're going to do some testing on him, and so I'm expecting that the next day they're going to do some tests, and then I can go and get him. So my parents and I leave him. He's coherent, he's fine, he's talking normal like I'm doing now. So we didn't warrant a concern for us to leave, and I'll get a little bit deeper more about this whole process, but I just want to just give you a little quick snippet. So we leave him, he's fine, he's correct. As I said, nothing warrant us to say we should stay in the hospital, okay? Because we're thinking that, well, he's in the hospital, he should be good. Somewhere in the wee hours of the morning, he's unresponsive, okay? They said it wasn't a heart attack, they didn't know, okay? But listen to this, okay? We did not know this. So I called him the next day. I didn't get him, so I'm thinking he is starting the procedures. My parents call him. They're thinking the same thing, that he is getting tested. They're doing the procedure, right, to see what's actually going on. So we're going throughout the day, calling him, no texting him, no response. So we're like, okay, well, maybe it's taking it a little bit longer. But the day is going on, about 3 o'clock now. We're really getting concerned because we're not getting any response whatsoever. Nobody's calling from the hospital. He's not responding to our texts or our phone calls, which is very, very unlike him. And so we decided that, you know what, let's go to the hospital. Let's see what's going on. We leave here. We leave our home, which is maybe about 30 minutes or a little bit less, 20-30 minutes away from where we live, to the hospital. I get there, I drop my parents off in the front to say go ahead and check in. I go ahead and park. So while I'm parking now, but I want you to mind you, this is about 5 to even about 5:50, okay, when we finally get to the hospital. So I'm parking because traffic was horrendous. It was like the longest ride that only should have taken the most 30 minutes, took us about a good hour to reach there. So when we finally get to the hospital, right, my phone rings. This is about 5:56 p.m. because I made sure I screenshot 5:56 p.m. So I couldn't pick up. I was maneuvering my parking. I found the phone ringed again. So I pick up and I said, hello, are you the sister of Philip Bailey? And I'm like, yes. And then they proceeded to say, it doesn't look good. You need to get here quickly. So I said, I'm here. My parents are here. We're on our way up. So now mind you that I had already dropped my parents off, okay, up in the front. So I get there, I get inside, I'm hurrying up now. And I get to the counter. The security guy remembered us from the day before. I said, hey fam, how are you doing? Are you going to the same room? And so he's looking and he says, oh, you're going to ICU. And my mom looked at me, she said, ICU? What? I said, Mama, they just called me while we were parking. So by this time, our hearts are coming out the chest. What in the world happened? So the doctor said, we're waiting for you. Just hurry up and get here. So now we get there. Now mind you, we go upstairs. She said, before you go and see him, Lord Jesus. Before you go in and see him, I want to tell you what happened. So this is when she's telling us that somewhere in the reason why of the morning, he's unresponsive. We gave him CPR. We did some three rounds of electric shock. He is alive. Okay. All right. So I'm like, okay, this is great. He is alive. So now the same young man, okay, he was 52 years young, that we saw, that was up, coherent, speaking, when we finally see him. And I even asked him, why did it take you so long to let me know? Because I was the point of contact to call us. Oh, we couldn't find your number. By the way, the same number that you just called me. I'm just confused. And how that's possible, because you all confirmed my information the day before. He was there, my parents were there, everybody were confirmed and say, this is my information. So I can understand, how is it possible that you all waited until 5:56 p.m. in the evening to let us know something happened? Don't you find it a little strange? Don't you find that a little bit strange? So now when we finally get to see him, there's tubes, there's wires everywhere. My brother had never been sick, not even a cavity. Okay, so I'm like, what happened? We don't know. It wasn't a heart attack. What the hell? So this healthy 52-year-old young man that has never been sick is now tubes everywhere. He's convulsing there. So what are you treating him for? What's all this medication? We don't know. Okay, needless to say, a few days after that, he ended up passing. June 1st, to be exact, the climax of it. Then on top of that, of course, this was a great tragedy and a shock. I mean, it's even still a shock to our family, even now. My father passes. And that's a whole nother different story, but it was just the grief of just the shock, right, of it. And so as we navigate this, this has been, and I'm just looking at my notes, because I really wanted to be intentional for myself and my family in how I navigate this journey of hard times. And we've experienced hard times, okay, before. My husband and myself experienced foreclosure, bankruptcies, being sued, losing everything, having to start over with life. And now, having to experience this, having challenges of starting a family. That was a challenging in itself. And I remember those different seasons of how depressed I was, how I felt like if life ended right then and there, okay, great. I felt as though I was alone. And so as I had watched that season, and just reminded me, I did not want to be in a constant state of depression. I did not want to feel like no one understand. I did not feel like I couldn't go to anybody, which I'm so glad that I was really intentional to seek wise counsel. That's something that is definitely needed when you're navigating hard times, right? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a loss of a loved one, whether it's financially, a loss, hard times, no matter what it is, it's difficult, right? But one thing that you have to make an effort into is realize that you're not alone, right? So community and being in prayerful, right? Because at the end of the day, right, God talks about wise counsel. And so something that just really resonated me this past week when I was reading Joshua chapter 1, and I always believe that everything that you need spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, you can find in the Bible as well. And so as I was reading Joshua chapter 1, and I just want to encourage you on learning how to navigate hard times, because as I said, one thing about it is, if you do not make a conscious decision on how to go through, right, because you can go through, and when I mean going through, doesn't mean that everything's going to be great and it's going to be perfect and you're going to have this great life. No, I'm meaning that each moment you're making decision that either I'm going to stay in this spot, be in this corner, right, and because I can easily and just go through the motions, or I am going to make a decision that I'm going to allow the rest of my life to be the best of my life, even the challenges in the process. So what even resonated with me with Joshua 1 is that my father was very distinguished. My brother was too, but my father had, that image of Moses with the white hair. My father had that with the white mustache and everything. I mean, very, very distinguished. Really, really a distinguished. So when I'm reading this, and as now the mantle is being passed on, and the mantle has been passed on to my husband and myself as we're navigating the ministry that my father and my mother started, and the mission and the retreat center, which, by the way, at the end I'm going to share you. So make sure you stay all the way to the end about things that we're having with our retreat, our mission retreat center, as well, and just navigating different things when it comes to being resilient spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially. So as I'm reading this, and if it's going to be a little bit longer, okay? Not too long, just a few more. Just stay with me. And so it says here, it says, Moses, my servant, is dead. So this is God saying to Joshua, to lead therefore the time has come for you to lead these people, the Israelites, across the Jordan River into the land I am giving them. Stay with me, okay? I promise you what I promised Moses. Wherever you set your foot, you will be on land I have given you, from Nineveh wilderness in the south of the Lebanon mountains, in the north from Euphrates rivers to the east to the Mediterranean Sea in the west, okay? Including all the land of the Hittites. So listen to this. It says, no one will be able, I want you to really grasp that for yourself, because sometimes you feel like you're attacked, and that's how this season was feeling. It's like things were just happening and attack. But listen, no one will be able to stand against you as long as you live. I want you to grab onto that. For I will be with you as I was with Moses. Listen, I will not fail you or abandon you. When you feel like you are alone and no one understands, that's just a plan of the enemy. But God says, I will not fail you or abandon you, right? Because isolation is dangerous. That's why when you're in hard times, you don't want to isolate yourself. You have to put yourself to find a community, a connection that can help you to be able to heal and go through, right? And then it says, be strong and courageous, okay? Be strong and courageous, for you are the one who would lead these people to possess the land I swore to their ancestors I would give them. Because as I'm reading these, it's such encouraging me that I can come on and encourage you, right? Because it's actually helping me with my healing. Because one thing I realized, that sometimes when you go through a loss, a grief, and a pain, you feel as though that as I said, no one understand, and that you will never go through. That's why when my family and I going through different grief counseling and being in a community and just sharing the grief, and sometimes sometimes you don't have the energy to share, but realize that, okay, you've made it, right? Because some have experienced a loss, right? And then we've had people who not only have experienced a loss, but it's been a while, right? So it lets me know this is a process. When you've experienced a loss, a hard time, it is a process, and it doesn't happen overnight, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that you're making a decision that I'm going to go through this season, right? And then he says again, be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the instructions Moses gave you. Do not deviate from them, okay? So God gives us instruction. God has given you instruction to help you with the healing and be restored from a loss. He's given me instruction, right, to be restored, coming on, being so mindful of coming on, because as I'm talking, I'm being so encouraged. And then it says, don't deviate. So and I think about that, it's just like, don't try and look for people who are not in your corner, or just like, oh, get over it. No, not at all, because you cannot get over, but you can get through. Oh God, you're still Listen, they've never been through, so they don't understand it. Don't allow people to force you to do something, or say to get over it, or your emotions or feeling doesn't matter, because it's a lie. It does matter, and you have to learn how to navigate it. That's why it's being so connected. Then it says, don't look to the left or the right, because sometimes you look over there, it's like they can't help me. They can't help me either. Okay. But you look up, and God will lead you right to the right people to help. That's why it's so good to have a coach, and why it's counseling, because I tell you, no matter different stages of life, boy, it makes a real difference. And then it says, then you'll be successful in everything you do. Okay. Study this book of instructions continually, right? And a book of instruction, of course, for me, it's the Bible. That's one thing. But watching videos, reading great books. I mean, I'm reading some amazing books. I'm going to put some of them in the chat for you as well, to kind of encourage you. Say so, and then it says, study this book of instruction, continue, meditate it on it day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything that is written, and only then, okay, we talk about prosper, only then will you prosper and succeed. Not some things, right, but in all things. Right, in all you do. This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord God is with you wherever you go, as they are yelling in the back. But that's okay. I'm going to keep it moving, because I want you to take some time and read Joshua 1, verses 1 through 9. Okay, read that, meditate it, and just pray on it, and God will reveal to you this season of your life, right, on how you can prosper during this hard time, because he said he desires for you to prosper even as your soul prosper and be in good health. That means every area of your life, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially. So what I want you to do, below it you see a link to her site, Life Financial Resilient, right? Because this is the time you want to be resilient in this season. Click on the link. When you click on the link, you're going to have the ability to download a complimentary ebook that I created to just help you navigate this season, this time of your life. And you can also connect with me as well, because as you know, I do everything from the womb to the tomb as a financial life coach. So go ahead, connect with me as well. Get that complimentary book. Go ahead and get it. I want you to do that right now. And at the end of the day, like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Thank you for subscribing. Go ahead and like. Did you subscribe? All right, fabulous peeps. Bye.